Shit.
There
Now
we
we
go.
are.
Now we are live. All right. What's going on, everybody? Another episode of the Last Give podcast, episode 3. We're in season 3, episode 12 already. And joining back with us tonight is the one and only
Flash.
Flash going into the Top Gun very
Tag
hard right
name
now. Top Gun
Flash.
man.
Tag name on the right of me is Ace. As you all
And
figure out. Actually, what there'll be that actually going to be great tag names if we were Air Force pilots. I'll be Flash. Ace will just be Ace. It'd be perfect.
yeah. And what's going on? We're going to have a good episode tonight. We're going to hit the Stanley Cup Finals. We have a new NBA champion for the fourth time in, 8 years? Kind of crazy, but it is what it is. Golden State's going back to being the kings of the NBA. Some NBA draft talk, major retirement in the NFL, but he might only be retired for half a season. Who knows? Um, NHL awards were tonight. That came out. The new APR scores were, or not APR score, but the APR rankings were released. Some shocking ones out of Florida, and yeah, again, be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. Flash, how we feeling to be back after a month and a half off?
It's due time. I mean, I do have a lot of personal stuff going on, as I do have personal big news going on for myself, as I am going to be announcing I am no longer the USF president alumni
Yes,
of USF. I am officially transferring to St. Leo University, as I'm attempting to. Well, I will finish my cybersecurity degree. That is my most important thing I'm focused on right now, and I've been trying to take care of that for the past few weeks, and I'm still not done. But I mean, I do need to come back on, as our season is about to start winding down soon, actually. So I figured I need to be
next
back.
week's season finale.
Oh shoot! Really? Yeah, season finale.
Once
Unless
the playoffs finish,
when the playoffs finish, if it goes to 6 or
so
7,
Tuesday. 7 will be Tuesday anyway, so we'll finish it Wednesday. If it
yeah.
goes to 7, we'll finish Wednesday. Otherwise, it'll be Tuesday, back to 8 o'clock. So you know how it goes. But yeah, we're gonna hit up on all those goodies, and JP's got to switch it to St. Leo National Alumni President.
No, let's cut the joke. St. Leo's not a D1 school. I mean, we kind of mainly cover D1
but it's gotta go.
schools.
It's gotta keep up with the mantra.
I mean, no. We're not doing that. All right. But before we even start the intro,
Run the intro.
We're not doing that. All right. I'm just saying that clearly. Hit the intro.
All right, let's get it over with puck drop right now. So, as we know, Game 3 of the Stanley Cup playoffs was last night. Tampa Bay Lightning won 6-2 over the Colorado Avalanche, completely reversing the script of what we saw in Game 2, where the Avalanche beat them 7-0. It was a fun game to watch, actually, even with the overturned offside, which I called before the commentators called, but we won't get into that. And then the Landeskog goal. It was Tampa Bay after that. Rest of the game, only 2 goals Colorado got were off the power play, just like how the Rangers had it. You think it's gonna be something what we saw with New York, or Colorado figure out it back, put it back down?
You know what? It is too soon to make that kind of assumption. I mean, I know Colorado is not exactly the New York Rangers. I mean, they have a much more potent offense. Has not been exactly the greatest. I'm kind of thinking this is more going to be like a Toronto series ending in 7 from what I've seen so far, but it is still too soon. I do think Game 2. I think Colorado kind of exposed himself a lot in Game 2 by running up the score, as we kind of figured out a lot of how their sets are, how they like to attack, and we kind of have a better. And Tampa Bay Lightning just knows how to better defend against that kind of stuff, with that high potion passing offense and those high corner shots that Colorado likes to do. At least from what I've seen when I was trying to recover myself from a pool party on Saturday. Well, no, was it Saturday? Yeah, it was Saturday. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
pretty
Saturday
scary.
was
But
the
a lot of
blowout
us were
game.
were very depressed. We all thought that okay, shoot, we might get swept, but clearly we're not going to get swept. And I expect Game 4 that we will win Game 4 on our home ice. But Game 5, I mean, it's too soon, to assume what Game 5 is going to give us. But I'm already booking Game 4 as a win.
All right. Well, Flash has
Um,
called
I'm,
it after having a different tune during Game 3. He came back and he's right the ship. He's right his wrongs of self doubt. That's good to hear. As of that question, I wouldn't say that just yet because as long as Nikita Kucherov's good, healthy, they did say he's expected to play Game 4, so that's always a good thing. But to crack the code on the Avalanche, you got to beat Pavel Francouz in Game 4, which I have a feeling he will be starting, not Darcy Kemper. So if you can score on him too, then you got the code beat because they already made one major adjustment. As you saw in Game 2, the forechecking of the Avalanche was pressuring the defenseman a lot, and to combat it, they pointed out they were flipping out the puck at a more increasingly high rate. They were flipping it out of the zone and then chasing it in the neutral zone, and they were beating the Avalanche into the spots. And Charles Barkley said it best, I think, is what to explain what happened in Game 2. The atmosphere and like the thinner air levels, I think, got to Tampa. As he said, is like if you stay there longer, you're gonna feel the effects harder. The more time you stay up there, if you're not used to it, than if you first get there. So you saw Game 1, they were a little more fresh, and then by Game 2, the air hit them and they were slow. And you saw it when they came back to Tampa, the speed was back.
I mean, yeah, I mean that is something that has been peeping out my attention a lot throughout this playoff series. What I've noticed that all the games that we have lost, except for maybe like one or two throughout that Toronto series, we had played terrible or very slow. I mean, I could say the same thing from that New York Rangers series when we lost Game 2. That we were just
Game 1,
it was Game 1 and 2 in a nutshell. I mean,
there were
Victor,
turnovers is what made them look
yeah,
slow.
yeah, those turnover. I was about to say that. I took that out of my mouth. Shit. Anyways, but I do
What were you
think
gonna say?
that yeah, those turnovers, especially by Victor Hedman, really did cost us a lot. So we are. I do. I just have a funny feeling I think we kind of did throw those games on purposely, which is a bad thing. But at the same time, oh my goodness.
You're
Ugh.
rusty there. He's rusty, people. You're seeing it right now. He's rusty.
Oh my
He's getting
goodness.
exposed like the lightning. He's been out of shape for a little
Hey,
bit. He's gonna
hey,
explode
hey!
quick.
All I was
Gotta
just
pick it
saying
up
is that
fast.
we tend to play slow games 1 and 2. It's a bad thing, but at the same time, in some ways, it is a good way because it's a good thing.
They make
And
adjustments.
yeah, they make adjustments, and we have the tape to we figure out how they like to play. I mean, we have tapes from how Vegas beat them, how other team in the past have beat them. So that is
Can't
what
do
I'm
nothing.
thinking what's been happening. But I'm willing to bet Colorado is going to make adjustments as well for Game 4, and I expect Game 4 to be a much more closer affair.
Yeah, Game 4 is gonna be tight, but I had said it on Twitter as like, if you're the Lightning, you're gonna go back. You're gonna watch how Columbus slowed you down in 2019. That's how to deal with the Colorado speed. You're gonna watch how Vegas defended and then attacked them in the goalie situation, and that's how they came back from down 2 to win the next 4 in
Okay.
2020. And you're gonna see and then you're gonna look at how you handled yourself in terms of pace against Toronto, and you're gonna put those three together and have your game plan. And they essentially did it. They figured out how to slow them down. They were tight stick checking in defensively, so that was good. And then they figured out how to get it in deep and push the defenseman in Colorado backwards instead of forward.
I do got one question for you, Mr. Ace. My question is last year during the one of our fake cups that other fan bases like to call us when we took out Montreal. Vegas took out Colorado last year, or was it the year before?
Yeah, Vegas took them out in the second round.
I mean, Vegas is some too.
Vegas took out Colorado. Oh, it was 2021 is Vegas beat them. Not last year. Colorado was up 2-0 The series went to Vegas, and Vegas won every game after that.
And here we are. We're calling Vegas some frauds and stuff, especially how they lost to
Vegas has an
Montreal.
issue. Vegas has an ownership issue right now.
Clearly, there
They're
is.
on.
I
I
mean,
think they've been around 5 years. They're on like their sixth head coach or fourth head coaches. One of the two numbers. They've
that's a
run
bad.
through they have had one losing season this year. This is the only year they've missed the playoffs, and they're on their fourth head coach.
That's a bad sign. That's a
They
terrible
have an
sign of
ownership
ownership.
issue.
It could be an ownership issue and it could be a GM issue. I
No,
mean,
agents have been steering their players away because of how they handled the Evgeny Dodonov trade during the trade deadline, where they mishandled that very badly, and then they finally moved him for Shea Weber, who they say is probably never playing again, so they're going to be using more LTIR manipulation. But unlike the Lightning didn't play without Kucherov for an entire season, and yet they still made the playoffs, where Vegas was constantly rotating players in and out of LTIR and essentially doing cap manipulation, where people like to say the Lightning did, but they kept their guys on LTIR the whole year and didn't manipulate it like that. So
hey, look, Chicago did it first. So, I mean, why be mad at us? So,
yeah, the whole Duncan Keith thing they
yeah,
had
yeah.
going on.
You don't want to complain at us for that. I mean, Colorado. Not
Chicago.
Chicago. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Avalanche Nation. All right, I'm talking about Chicago. My head is a little fuzzy on this still. I do got another question for you, Ace. I know it's been a while, but I know Ace knows for a fact that I've been personally talking about this a bunch of times throughout this postseason run, and I'm gonna bring it up officially because I'm finally on the air. My question is, what does a three-peat mean for the city of Tampa? Because I'll go on with that later. I want to hear his answer first.
Well, I was gonna add on to what you're talking about with the adjustments thing, like looking at the game tape. I was gonna say it's kind of like how Brady, he comes in that second half and he makes his adjustments, and that's why he's so hard to beat. That's what happens with Tampa in the 7-game series. They make those adjustments, and he beat me to it. But yes, it's a dynasty. It's gonna be on the tiers of the 2000 Lakers, like the Kobe Shaq Lakers, the Michael Jordan two three-peat teams he had. It'll go down in history, but if they lose this series, they're going to fall into the category of the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Sidney Crosby Pittsburgh Penguins. Like you knew they were great, but nobody talks about them, even though they went back to back.
That is true. I mean, to be honest, like I've actually grown fond of Pittsburgh Penguins fan base. To be honest, I mean,
yeah, Pittsburgh's pretty dope.
I'm
After they beat us a couple
like
times.
their fan base a little bit more. Especially, I spent one night while we were up in Canada. Well, on driving up to Canada, Pittsburgh, and I've only been to the outskirts and stuff. But I mean, you kind of feel the passion for the team. So I mean, I can't hate on Pittsburgh as much as I used to. I mean, I'm still leaning a Ravens fan, but I kind of hate the Pittsburgh Steelers a little bit less, and the Penguins. So you know what?
Always trash, and nobody ever cares about that.
Exactly. But
okay,
I do want to say one more thing. I know, but I do want to go on a little sentiment on what does a three-peat mean for the city of Tampa. Listen, Tampa Bay, this is going to be one once in a lifetime thing we might ever do as the city of Tampa ever. We cannot fumble this opportunity. Tampa Bay Lightning, we can't fumble this. Who knows when the next time Tampa Bay will ever get another chance at a three-peat? Because it might be a long time from now. We might be talking 10, 20, 30, maybe even 40 years before we get another three-peat opportunity like this. So, dear Tampa Bay Lightning, please finish up the season, all right? Finish it strong. Take care of business. Hopefully, finish up the Avalanche as y'all did with the Rangers. That's
stay with Bolton 6. Snoopy called it. Stick with Bolton
6. I still got a prediction in Bolton 6, but it would not surprise me if it goes to 7. But 3-peat in a row, it'll put us in elite talk with those old school Islanders in the 80s, the Lakers, Shaq and Kobe Lakers in the 2000s. There's some other stuff I saw it on ESPN. It does mean a lot for the city of Tampa, especially the Tampa Bay Lightning fan base deserve it the most because Tampa Bay Lightning fan base and the entire city of Tampa are the most dedicated fan base ever. Whether we suck or not, whether we were getting second round bounced by the Canadians back in 2014 or when we missed the playoffs after 2011 or whatever. So this does mean a lot for the Tampa Bay Lightning and their fan base. We deserve it. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. John Tortorella, first guy to give Tampa a Stanley Cup. He's going to be in his final coaching gig with the Philadelphia Flyers. I'm going to say this now. It's probably going to end up in freezing cold takes, but Philadelphia's going to hire him. They're going to be cupless before him and cupless after. Stars hiring former Vegas Golden Knight head coach Peter DeBoer to be their head coach. I don't think that's going to mean anything. Hockey head coaches are like a recycle bin. Like the NFL, you might see that one or two new offensive coordinators become a head coach. Hockey, it's just recycling.
I hope Trotz gets a job in Winnipeg, or what was that one team? It was Winnipeg, right? That offered him free beer forever.
Yeah, Winnipeg. Yeah.
I hope he gets that job.
Yeah.
Just for that. I mean, I would be happy for the guy if he gets that job. So, good luck to Trotz on getting that free beer for life.
I don't even remember. Didn't Boston hire somebody yet? I don't even know.
They hired someone, and we kind of laughed at them. I mean, Boston is. Let's not talk much about the Bruins. They're going to be relevant for a long time.
Yeah, they're going to be in a reboot. But bringing into the other Boston team.
One more thing. That one guy that tried elbowing Palat on the Rangers and picking a fight with Steven Trouba. He's the next Marchand, ladies and gentlemen. The next Marchand. If Marchand's going to be relevant, he's going to have all the attention.
Trouba's a defenseman. You mean Lafreniere is the one who fought Stamkos and went after elbowed Hedman in the head.
Who's the one that people said was really dirty on the Rangers? Was it Trouba or?
There's two of them. Trouba and Lafreniere.
One has to be more dirty than the other. That everyone was calling him the next Marchand.
Trouba's really dirty. Trouba's really dirty, but Lafreniere elbowing Hedman and fighting Stamkos.
Let me be more specific. The one that Penguins fans hate a lot more now.
Trouba, he's the one who hit Crosby.
Yeah,
he's the one who knocked Crosby out.
He's the next Marchand, ladies and gentlemen. I'm saying it right now.
32 or like 31. He's definitely not. He's on the wrong side of 30. He can't be next Marchand. He's been Marchand. Now NBA talk. We're like I said, the other Boston team lost in the NBA Finals, where Lakers fans happily celebrate because they stay tied with the 18. Kobe wouldn't let Tatum pass the Lakers in rings. I'm sorry, that's so. Whatever.
I feel bad for Jason Tatum. I feel bad for Jason Tatum posting that text message to Kobe saying, "I got you, bro." And now he's just and the Warriors fans said Dubs is 6. I feel bad. I do have a few.
All right. Golden State won their fourth ring in 8 years. That is a legitimate dynasty right there. Steph Curry's 4-2 in his NBA Finals career. We know the 2 was the blown 3-1 lead, and the one where Kawhi got the best out of a very hurt Warriors team. But I still think the Raptors could have pulled that off, even if KD didn't get hurt. But me and J Peeps did call that series, Warriors in 6. I did call Andrew Wiggins was the X factor of the series, and he did not disappoint.
He did not disappoint in that regard. I will say this: Andrew Wiggins is not going to be a superstar as we all hoped he was when he first was drafted, but he has become a crucial part of this Warriors team, and I think might be one of his highlights in his career. I know it's water, but drinks up to it. Cheers to Andrew Wiggins.
Andrew Wiggins living his best life.
Andrew Wiggins was also baked in that parade.
Yeah,
if you see some pictures, he was very baked.
He's been enjoying the best time of his life right now. Don't blame him. Not every day or not every person wins the NBA championship. Look at Charles Barkley, and let him enjoy it. He's won. He gets to enjoy it. He's gonna get a contract extension with the Warriors, and I think it was Klay Thompson's dad said the Minnesota Timberwolves should be getting a ring for this because, they passed on Curry twice, couldn't get the deal done for Kevin Love and Klay Thompson, and they traded D'Angelo Russell for Andrew Wiggins for the Warriors. So,
you want to know what's even crazier? I'm hearing Karl-Anthony Towns might be gone.
Oh, if D'Lo's gone, there have been rumors D'Lo's going to get traded. If D'Lo's getting traded, Karl's gone. Cat's gone.
No, no, I'm hearing like Cat to the Hawks. I'm hearing for Clint Capella. Whatever you make
No,
out of
that'd be a
that.
lot. It'd be a lot more than It'd be a lot more than just Clint Capella for Cat. Albeit, I don't. I think if you look back at the big three that Minnesota had with Wiggins, Butler, and Towns, after seeing what happened with Wiggins, you see what Jimmy's been doing. You gotta think Cat was the one holding that team back. You know, especially with that practice and
Carl
everything.
and talk a lot of smack for someone that doesn't play that well sometimes, and he doesn't put his effort in himself. He was trying to talk shit to Russell Westbrook after how many years of Russell Westbrook owning that franchise? A long time, and he's talking smack when Russell Westbrook's on a down. Now, obviously, Russell Westbrook is another debate to talk about, but I will say this. Actually, what? No, I won't say this. I mean, I was thinking of something else. Go on, Ace.
Okay. I was gonna ask
I,
you this: where would you rank Steph all time? He's got four. He's a 4-2 record in the finals, unanimous MVP, finals MVP, two-time MVP, one final MVP. You know, 3 point
uh,
champ changed the game to a 3 point game now. What
uh,
do you got him
definitely a top 10 player.
above KD?
Yes, above KD.
Okay, above
K,
Kobe.
I'm not gonna put Steph Curry over Kobe. No.
Well, if he gets,
I,
he's still got a good team. If he gets five, where do you put
I,
him?
you know what? It's a very difficult thing to think because well, first and foremost, I'm gonna say this: this past some championships, Steph Curry has actually showed up very well. I'm gonna give my hats off to Steph Curry. This is also going to be the most important one the Warriors ever had because let alone for Steph Curry because they did it right.
No hurt calves. No
No,
KD carrying.
no hurt
KD didn't really
opponents.
carry. They triple
Not hurt.
team. They tr-
Not hurt opponents except for maybe the Grizzlies, which I mean I still think Warriors might have taken care of them to be honest with how they
that
played.
would have been a 7 game Warriors.
I mean Steph Curry finally got the Finals MVP he deserved. I mean we shall see. I just think he's top 10 over KD. I'm not going to go as far to say he's over Kobe. And you know what? Even if he wins five, I mean I I, I don't want to give it to him like that, because I don't want to say I hate Steph Curry because I actually do like Steph Curry a lot more. Let me make that clear first and
What are you gonna be
foremost.
like? Skip Bayless and said they were
No,
the
no, no,
FFF
no,
fraudulent
no.
finals foe. I think it was the BS he said. That was the biggest set of nonsense I've ever seen. He said the Boston Celtics were frauds, but yet they swept the Brooklyn Nets. They beat Miami in 7 after being down 3-2. No, they were up and they still beat Miami. They
They beat
beat
Milwaukee too.
Milwaukee.
Even
Well,
though
albeit
you
Milwaukee
could,
was hurt.
you
Chris
could,
Middleton was there. They would have lost, but
right?
still.
But I mean, you do have to put some asterisks around those two championships they got with Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
You
KD
do have
got
to put,
like triple team though, and KD got wide open shots.
but yeah, exactly. I mean,
I mean
you
Harrison
do
Barnes could have
you
hit those shots.
you have to put those asterisks on those KD championships. I'm sorry, but you have to do it. As good as Steph Curry is, I'm not going to put him above Kobe, even if he wins the fifth one. As outrageous as it sounds, which I could understand, it is five championships. But y'all had KD, who pulled the weakest move ever, and y'all had a very huge unfair advantage. And do you want to be honest? The Warriors actually played a lot better without KD. If you ever seen the games when Kevin Durant was out, they were clicking like how they should have been
They
clicking.
won. They won before KD. They won with KD, and they won after KD.
So
I
I
don't
mean,
think KD made that much of a difference to them. He
but
just got open shots.
no. What KD did is put the Warriors on a complete unfair level versus a lot of opponents, and it took them getting hurt for them to finally blow it up. Also, I do want to say another thing about KD. I'm glad he got swept in the first round. All right, Russell Westbrook would never got swept in the first round, and you know what? I'm glad he has that stain on him for the rest of his life, on the rest of his career of NBA. I'm glad he had that. I'm done with that argument.
All
Congratulations,
right,
Steph Curry.
cool.
You deserve it. Much love from me. I'm just speaking the truth from my point of view. All right. I mean, it's not hard love. All right, but I think it's going to take like six to make up for those two from Kevin fraud that he did.
Well,
Fraudland, Kevin,
all
like
right. What do
whatever
you
you want to
think
call
if
him.
if Kyrie got shipped to the Lakers and Russ got shipped to the Nets.
No, I would not like that for Russell Westbrook. I mean, Steve Nash is he's not a
Steve
coach.
Nash is not a good coach.
He's
He
not a
should have
good
been fired
coach.
after that swept, but I don't
I,
know what they're doing up in Brooklyn right now.
I do not know. I mean, but I mean, you know what? Russell Westbrook has done good with coaches that let him do his thing to some extent. But I mean, there's also coaches that actually acknowledge Russ's strengths and weaknesses that Frank Vogel completely neglected. I think I'd rather see him take another shot with LA, or if he does not want to be in LA no more, get him out of there. But I do want to see him with LA with this recent hire with the Milwaukee assistant. Devin Harum is his name is
Darvin Ham.
Darvin Ham. I don't know. Listen. I think that's the coach Russell Westbrook needs, and I think that's the coach Russ will definitely take accountability for, and whatnot. And I think it's a coach that will listen to Russ and understands Russ needs. Unlike Frank Vogel, who decides to put Malik Monk as a higher scoring option over Russell Westbrook and drags Russell Westbrook whenever he gets his groove going. I mean, that's the biggest issue that I had with Frank Vogel, and a lot of Westbrook fans can agree on.
All right. So I'm gonna move us over into the NBA draft. Some 2 nights. Thursday night can be around this time actually.
Should we talk about the Bleacher
Orlando's got
Report
their.
messing up? Should we talk about that real quickly?
Nah, I ain't gonna acknowledge stupidity and idiocracy.
All right. To be clear, ladies and gentlemen, Bleacher Report has
Even
as
Snoopy
soon
said no in the background.
nah, he sees something. But yeah, Bleacher Report has pulled a trade out of a podcast that never even happened.
I wasn't even practical in making sense of the Lakers.
It wasn't. First of all, there was no discussions of the trade that went down. That's number one. First mistake Bleacher Report did. Number two, it was just a hypothetical trade and a pod. Two analysts that which they said the organization said no, and Bleacher Report took that little tidbit, posted it on their website and Twitter and whatever, just to lower Westbrook's trade value and trying to make him sound like nobody wants him. That is shame on you, Bleacher Report. Shame on you. That is very unprofessional as a business.
If they were smart, they would have realized that the Lakers can't even trade their 2026 first round pick. Even I knew that, and I was
exactly
because the pick the year before the 2025 one is it's a swap pick with the Pelicans. So if the Pelicans decide they don't want to pick that year because it's not that good, then they can't trade their 2026 pick because it's still protected and owned by the Pelicans. So yeah, that's a very bad part on the Bleacher Report. But now, speaking of draft picks, NBA draft Thursday night, Orlando's picking first, OKC second, Houston third, Sacramento fourth. You know how it goes. I'm gonna talk about this. I have an issue of how the media has been handling this draft, and it's because 5 teams in the top 5. There's only one big market team, right? The Houston Rockets. The players in the draft.
Big market, by the way.
The one player that's been getting the most disrespect by the media and not even getting 2 picks, Paolo Banchero, who scouts and players have this player in this draft class. They won't talk about him. They say he doesn't have the highest ceiling out of the players because they want him to go to Houston. They've made it like all but confirmed to go to Houston. Like they want the best player to go to Houston.
I'm gonna say this right now. I think Paolo is going number 1 to Orlando.
I have said that the last month.
If it's not Paolo, it's not going to be. It's not going to be Chet.
It'll be Jabari.
Wait.
If it isn't Paolo, it's going to be Jabari.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those.
I'd hope it's Jabari, but here's my thing with Jabari. Jabari's a taller Mikal Bridges. That is what he is. He's a taller version of Mikal Bridges on the Phoenix Suns. He's a 3-and-D who's just 6'10". Or 6'11".
I mean, sometimes
he can't dribble and he can't make a shot anywhere else besides catching and shooting.
Well, I mean, listen, if you're gonna have point guards like Cole Anthony and Markelle Fultz, you might not even need a
playmaker.
He's not a playmaker.
Cole Anthony's career is probably gonna end up on the trajectory of like a not Jamal Crawford, but a Lou Williams sort of player. He'll be an amazing 6-man off the bench. But he's gonna start the year starting, but I have a feeling Jalen Suggs, if Jalen Suggs figures out how to shoot, Jalen Suggs will start over him like this. Because
Um,
his true shooting percentage was horrible inside the paint. It was horrendous, like 20%,
what's his actual field goal percentage?
40, I think.
I don't listen to
Yeah,
advanced
he
stats.
was shooting 30. He was the best shooter on the out of the guards, but Markel's the best one inside the paint, and Markel has
I
been
think
working on that jump. Markel will start no matter what
I
happens, but
I think I mean obviously Markel has not played since the other coach got fired. Is that correct?
no, he played last year. He played 75 minutes, and he was averaging like 20 and 9 on per 36 the game.
I think Markel Fultz is going to be the starting point guard going forward for the Orlando Magic. I would not be too concerned about looking for forward that could dribble. If you could, I mean, you could always trade for
They got
one later
Franz,
on.
but Franz, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you
He's point
if you have
man.
listen, if you have two like ball handlers
There's
like
a
that,
reason
that's
why
not
I say
even
they need Paulo.
why.
They need a shot creator. Markel's the only shot creator, really.
You know,
Franz is working his way there, but you know, Paul, if you look at his thing, he really fits that mold of thick Tatum. That is what he is. He is a thick Tatum who can actually hit a layup and pass better.
you're calling him a thick Tatum. Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? I mean, obviously, this is all hype in the end, but I like listen. You only need like 2 to 3 like ball handler slash shot creator dudes on your team. After that, you're going to end up like the Los Angeles Lakers, where everyone was fighting for the ball last season,
No,
thinking
no,
every.
well, they're
Well,
fine in
that
that
was also
regard.
that is also Frank Vogel's blame in that regard. So, I mean,
No, if you take Paulo, right, you're gonna have Markel being the primary ball handler. He's
oh
gonna
my
set up
God,
the
Golden
but you
State.
can
It's
you can
Golden State
hit
on the
Paulo
bottom.
along the
Golden State,
wing.
it's gone. Come on, you missed it. It was on the bottom.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
but if Paulo doesn't go, if it's Jabari or Chet going one, that whole narrative on Magic Twitter, the Magic don't leak anything, needs to go out the window like this, because everybody is like already booked in Jabari or Chet to go one. They're not even talking about Paulo. He's gonna, if he even works out for the Magic, I think he's gonna go one. But
I think. I still think Paulo or Jabari is going one. I just do not see Chet being on Orlando Magic unless the Orlando Magic make a silly decision again. So
they're generally good on
look, do you
first
see Golden
overall
Stat?
pick.
Golden Stat. Look at the bottom. Look at the bottom.
We're going stat.
Golden Stat.
You got a typo in that. But yeah, what do you think Jaden Ivey's gonna end up? I think that pick for Sacramento is definitely getting traded. Who do you think is gonna jump up to 4 to take Jaden Ivey? Knicks,
Jaden Ivey.
Wizards. It's gonna be either Knicks, Wizards, maybe the Magic to go back up into the top lottery to get another guy. But
I mean, hey, you know what? If I'm the Magic, I say go make the trade.
you said they don't need that many ball handlers. If you get Paulo at 1, you really need Jaden to go with Markel.
No, you could probably. Well, I mean, you could probably. How many picks the Magic got? I don't even know.
They have number 1, and they have a bunch in the future.
Bunch in the future.
And if you take any of the forwards, you're trading Jonathan Isaac. Probably, anyway.
Yeah, I would send Jonathan Isaac to Utah. He might fit in very well there.
Oh, he will fit perfectly, but that's for Donovan Mitchell. And that's another conversation that I want to get into.
No, you could probably get a guy. You could probably get some solid dudes out of Utah. I mean, look, I mean, there's Jordan
They don't
Clarkson.
have much young guys in Utah. Nobody wants Rudy Gobert. Come on, they acting like Rudy Gobert is better than Shaq, but he really is overglorified. Andrew Bogut is what I call him.
No, but I mean, a guy like I was not thinking like Rudy Gobert. I was thinking, you know, just a veteran presence like a Jordan Clarkson or something. Yeah.
They got Cole Anthony to do what Jordan Clarkson does.
I mean, but still, like a veteran presence is good for a team like that. Like
they got Gary Harris. Just keep Gary Harris.
Oh, they have Gary Harris.
Yeah, he's a pretty good, solid vet, and they got the.
Well, listen, if Utah's gonna blow it up, I mean, you know,
They
if
got
Jordan
Robin.
if Jordan Clarkson is willing to play for the Orlando Magic, I think he'll be a great mentor for someone like Cole Anthony and stuff, and he can learn. Jordan Clarkson could probably get some starter
Maybe.
minutes as well.
Maybe. But
I mean,
Utah released those
it's an
new
idea. It's an
uniforms.
idea because listen, a mentor goes long distance for someone for someone who's still new in the league, and like I have one good example when Carmelo Anthony was with the OKC Thunder, and him and Terrence Ferguson was, they were like
Terrence
buddies.
Ferguson never worked out though.
Well, it didn't work out, but still, like when Terrence Ferguson was like decently legitimate when he was learning on like Carmelo Anthony and stuff. Like sometimes a veteran presence
Terrence
like
Ferguson never worked out. If you wanted, you could have said Chris Paul with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. That would have made more sense.
it made a little bit more sense. Wait, did Shy even play when Chris Paul was there? I don't think
Yeah,
so.
they made the playoffs. Remember, and they took Houston to 7.
Oh shoot, I forgot.
Yeah, Utah released the new uniforms. They were horribly rebranded into this ugly, bright yellow and black thing.
Donovan Mitchell's gone, but
Donovan Mitchell, if I'm you, bro, just ask for a trade. Damian, I saw it pop up on the bottom thing. I'd wait to see who
I'm not buying it. Damian Lillard is not leaving Portland. I don't think he cares.
And Bradley Beal aren't going anywhere.
Those two guys are the least likely guys to leave. Unless Bradley Beal is like completely sick of the Wizards organization and not doing anything right. Listen. You know what? I'm actually a little bit more fond of the Wizards organizations when they had Russell Westbrook there. And you know what? I still wish Russell Westbrook was still with the Wizards today. To be honest, I mean that front office looked like they were making the right decisions in the right direction when they had Westbrook. But I mean, that's a what if for another time. Oh my goodness, I'm saying for another time so many times. There's so many what ifs. So many.
Speaking of what ifs, Tommy Shepard did say, Washington GM, he said he's gonna expect a lot of trades, and that leads us into this. If he does get traded,
who?
I have no idea where he'd end up. South Beach, but I don't know if they have enough to get him.
Who, Beal? We're talking about Beal?
No, Lillard on the bottom.
They got Kyle Lowry though. Why do they want Lillard? I mean,
Lowry was not good.
Yeah, he may not have been good, but
he was hurt and he was irrelevant.
I'll say this: Damian Lillard and Jimmy Butler, unless they stagger the minutes, it's not gonna work.
Why, you think Jimmy's too alpha to let it go? Miami will never win a ring with Jimmy Butler as the number one option.
I'll say this as well. As good Jimmy Butler is, he should not be a number one option over a guy like Damian Lillard, and that is just something I could see just going south. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They will never win with Jimmy as number one.
Jimmy, not correct.
Yeah, with Jimmy as a number one, Miami will never win a ring.
Oh my god! I'll be right back, y'all. Give me 1 second.
Okay, I'm going to talk about Kenny Atkinson deciding to stay with a winning team, then trying to fix the doggone L-shaped Charlotte Hornets. He's going to be staying with Golden State as an assistant. Mike D'Antoni, I think, is probably going to be the one who replaces him. They will see. Michael Jordan's interviewing again with Mike D'Antoni for LaMelo. Who knows how that works out?
I would like Mike D'Antoni for Charlotte. I mean, my only thing with Mike D'Antoni is don't rely on the three as too much. Mike D'Antoni would be the perfect offensive coach if he did not rely on the three as much. I mean, if you allowed like some like mid range jump shots, like even on a blue moon, especially when the team is cold, you know what? I would be like, yeah, go ahead, be Mike D'Antoni. If he allowed more mid range shots, because listen, there's been too many times when Mike D'Antoni's offense has shot too many threes, and sometimes they just shoot him back in the leg, and it happened too many times.
Yep. All right. Moving on to the hot topics. Rob Gronkowski he's saying he's retiring, but the agent did say, Drew Rosenhaus did say, if Tom calls him back week 8, mid-season he needs a guy to come back and catch, he probably will come back. So I don't know. I said 40 days, same like
Listen,
Tom.
listen. Tom Brady already posted the guy calling on the phone meme on top of Rock retirement letter or something like that, or some news source. It was pretty
Yeah,
funny. So, I mean,
I
this
don't
is
think he's gonna be retired long.
it might be more like a personal vacation or something.
He'll take a mini vacation for the body.
I mean that would make more sense than going on a
Yeah,
full retirement. I'm not buying Gronk retirement until I fully see that he does not play at all this season.
but horrible investments. Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, Jacksonville's not. Jacksonville money's I guess cursed or something. He's lost $24 million in money after the crypto market crashed. He owned 3 different cryptocurrencies and he's lost a total of like 24 million US. So yeah,
Well, yeah. I mean, at that point, if you're going to lose that money, you might as well hold on. I mean, there's going to be eventually a time in the future when all that is going to
it'll
go
go
up.
back up. So
No,
yeah,
listen. Even if it takes 20 years, cryptocurrency is not going away. It's not like NFT, where it's like all that.
hype.
NFT was a racket. I don't think cryptocurrency is going to head in that direction. I just don't believe it. I mean, listen, all the stocks are going down. This is not even a financial channel for crying out loud, and we're talking about all that stuff. If you've seen all of the stock markets and stuff, everything's going down. Just don't even panic. If you're a smart man, you would buy either the big boys like Bitcoin, ETH, some other one I forgot I used to have, and I switched it back to ETH, but I should hold on to it as well. Listen, folks, it's nothing to be concerned about. Just this is the United States of America. We are the king of all businesses, and I just think that it'll eventually go back up. I'm not going to entertain this no longer. Let's keep it moving.
All right. Deshaun Watson settled on 20 out of the 24 cases.
Guilty.
Well, yeah, we know he's guilty, but
He's
he got a
guilty.
fully guaranteed $235 million contract. I'm forgetting who said. Somebody had said, if you're Lamar Jackson, you're just asking for $10 million more than what Deshaun Watson got. You got the MVP. That should be enough, I think. That is fair enough for him. I don't know about the foot. He probably won't get fully guaranteed money because of the injury concerns that will come with him. I don't know. That's a horrible stigma that's with him for some reason.
With Lamar?
Well, yeah, with Lamar. You know that stupid thing where they say like running quarterbacks get hurt? I don't know. I find that BS.
Listen. That is BS. If I'm
Well, I
Lamar
think he
Jackson,
was hurt because his offensive line was hurt.
I'm gonna
That's
say
how it is.
I'm gonna say this right now. I don't think Lamar Jackson should be money bagging chase like this. I don't think he shouldn't do that. Don't risk himself. Because listen, if you're gonna chase
Fully
your money,
guaranteed.
I would look for more about a fully guaranteed contract. Don't ask for like complete max money. Look into getting like better linemen to completely protect you and get some at least better receivers, or trade some guys to get higher up picks so you can get some better receivers for less money.
I
That's
think they're banking on the development of Devin Duvernay, James Prochet, and Rashad Bateman because they did invest in those guys. I mean, Bateman was a top receiver coming out last year. He had some injury
I mean
stuff
Marquise
early on,
Brown
but he
is gone
was
too.
solid. So let's see if Rashad can be that X receiver for them and what Duvernay can do. But it'll be interesting to see what happens in Baltimore with the wide receiver thing.
This is why
But
I'm against like quarterbacks like getting all the money.
because they
No,
can't pay nobody else.
yeah. I mean, listen, if you're a quarterback and you value your health, you got to get you got to
Don't ask for
sacrifice.
max money.
Don't ask for mass money. I mean, listen, I know money is money and it's starting to become more scarce as gas prices and stuff goes up and stuff. But listen, your health is more important, and I would rather say, okay, I don't want this much money. I want you guys to put that money and give me some real protection of that guys will keep me safe and complete that won't so I won't get hurt by these massive big D linemen that are going to be chasing after me or linebackers.
Especially in the division of the AFC North, where you have Myles Garrett, Cam Hayward, TJ Watt.
TJ, yeah,
all these
exactly. You
You want
cannot.
some offensive linemen.
You do not want to be in a situation that Russell Wilson was after that Super Bowl. You
Well,
don't.
Baltimore did invest in the offensive line when they traded Marquise Brown. They used the pick they got to get Tyler Linderbaum, the top center in the draft, because center was an issue for Lamar for the last 2 years. You could see his center was horrible. He kept snapping the ball over his head. So hopefully that helps him out. But we shall see how Lamar's contract works. He should get paid. I wouldn't hold out for the entire season, though.
No,
Definitely get paid before the season starts.
listen. You know what? I mean, I'm glad Lamar is trying to set an example for the African American folks that yeah, we are smart men. We could do it all by himself, but sometimes teamwork does come in a big important matter. I think when it comes to that kind of stuff, let your agent deal with it. Let the agent get his cut. Just I mean, look, I don't even care if it's like your best friend or stuff. Like you get your
What are
best
we
friend
talking
as an
about?
agent, someone that you could trust.
Oh,
That's like the
oh my,
teamwork
what are we talking
aspect of
about
it.
now? Uh,
We're,
but
we're talking
in
about
other
agents because
news,
Lamar does not have an agent.
oh yeah, he's doing it
An,
himself.
an
Bobby
agent
Wagner
is
did a
someone
good job as an agent of himself, though.
who? Oh yeah,
Bobby
I think
Wagner, he's
so.
his own agent. But yeah,
I mean, quarterback
his
money
days are
is a
out.
very different ballpark versus like a linebacker or a lineman or something. Because
Yeah,
because we are seeing
but
quarterbacks getting max money, and too many times I've seen quarterbacks getting max money and their O line sucks, and I've seen it firsthand with the Seattle Seahawks. I don't want Lamar Jackson being in that position.
okay, cool. Ndamukong Suh's out of Tampa. He's saying either most likely Las Vegas. How you think that's gonna work? I mean,
Las Vegas could use some D
Bucks already
line help.
moved on. Bucks
Las,
already moved on from him, so
Las
I
Vegas
don't
could
think.
use the D line, man. I'm not against it.
Yeah, Odell's gonna be out till November, so I don't know when he's gonna be signed. Probably get signed by somebody stuck on the pup list, most likely. But we shall see how that works out.
Remind me again, Jarvis Landry's on the Saints.
Yep.
Why is this not being talked about as much? Everyone's all in the hype about Michael Thomas and Chris Olave, but they're forgetting the fact they have a badass receiver in Jarvis Landry.
Who said that nobody was talking about that?
I have not heard anyone in the media or ESPN or Twitter or anything. I keep forgetting Jarvis Landry is on the Saints. Now, listen. Jameis Winston's going to have his options, and the Saints are going to protect Jameis Winston because that is the only quarterback they got right now. And
Well, they got the red rifle. They got Andy Dalton, but we don't know how that. He's not even starting. So he's only in case
Winston
Jameis
is
gets hurt
tears
again and Taysom Hill's not starting.
of Andy Dalton. Let's get
Oh,
that
yeah.
out of the way. Now, I am a bit more concerned about the Saints. Now that Sean Payton's gone, I mean,
Pete Carmichael can finally cook. It won't be a stale offense like it was the last 3 years.
Oh, you're blaming Sean Payton for that?
Oh, that's been a running theme meme on Saints Twitter. So, they said, "What do you think is your like the one where it's like, what's your take on this with like all the knives pointing at the guy's throat? You know that meme?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's our running gag. The Saints offense was still with Sean for the last 3 years. It kind of was. I mean, he was playing super conservative. I don't know if it was because of the QB, but especially with Jameis, like the amount of running he was doing, especially in the playoffs, that offense got really bad.
You do not want Jameis to be running, especially for a guy that's not that quick.
No, running the football.
Oh,
Like, they weren't letting him throw it a whole lot. I don't know if it was because of the interception concerns or what.
but I mean that was only one
so-
season though. I mean, let's talk about the other 2 years when they had Drew Brees and that stuff.
He couldn't throw it very far.
Okay, that's fair enough. I mean,
he didn't have much weapons to work with either. I mean, Sean Payton had this great idea of undrafted receivers can do the job, guys. All undrafted.
Oh, you know what?
And then you end up with the worst receiving core in the NFL last year. Wow, big surprise.
Hey, you know what? For what Jameis had last year, it wasn't bad. He didn't do a bad job.
No, it was not.
He played. I mean, you could probably argue he was at an elite level. Maybe not elite like Tom Brady elite, but still,
Hey, he was better than Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield, and maybe I could probably argue maybe Derek Carr.
Oh yeah,
Maybe. No, no, no. Listen, that's nothing against Derek Carr. Derek Carr, I think, is a great leader for the Raiders for the amount of shit they went through. So,
last
so
year, yeah.
yes, I do think Derek Carr is a great quarterback, but I do think Jameis Winston was a little bit better than him in terms of playing until he got hurt. So I mean, you know what? Jameis is going to have great weapons this season. I mean, even if Chris Olave is not paying out very well, you're still going to have Jarvis Landry and you're going to have Michael Thomas. So I think that's something he's going to be looking forward to. I think Saints fans should be looking forward to it. I do wish the Saints did hire like a Brian Flores though. I think that would
They
probably
kept with the continuity though of the culture. They just want Dennis Allen. I mean, Dennis Allen, he did win when he had his one game 9-0, but he didn't have much to work with in that game. I mean, Taysom Hill was the quarterback. I mean, come on now, you didn't expect much on
listen,
offense.
listen. Let's give him his chance. If you're gonna hire within, I mean, he might be more familiar with the culture. It might be better. So you never know. I do hope Brian Flores does get hired as a head coach, though. I mean, you seen the work he did in Miami.
Hmm.
He needs
Here's a funny one. All right,
he needs to be back in the head coach seat soon.
All right, before we wrap this up, here's a funny one, right? So, out of the APR list, right? The APR list was released for 2022. So, out of all FBS teams, number 36 was South Florida, and number 28 was Central Florida. So, UCF was the number one school in terms of APR rankings for the state of Florida,
What does
followed
APR
by
even means?
that's for like grades and stuff like that, academic progress rate. So UCF was top in Florida, USF was second, and then you got to scroll a good ways. 50 for Miami, 46 for Florida.
Sheesh.
Damn, Florida State is far down this list. I'm not even seeing them on this thing. FIU was 67. FAU was 72.
Damn.
Let me see where Florida State is.
I'm gonna say that right.
Florida State was dead last in the ACC.
That's pretty bad.
And 65 for Power 5 football teams out of 65 schools.
Man, FSU.
Florida State was 126 out of 130th.
FSU is it's in the football program and academics for the football athletes.
FSU's got some issues they got to work out there, bud.
I know for a fact though, if you're an athlete, they don't like you doing like harder majors like engineering or cybersecurity or business.
Yikes!
They like you doing communications majors because it's not a terribly hard major, which is not a terrible thing. You can do a lot of things with a communications major.
Let me see here. So
look who needs to wrap it up.
Yeah, I know we got to wrap it up. I was looking at the wrong one. That was my bad. FSU, that was for 2019. You're trying to tell me to wrap it up, but I'm trying to get the actual rankings for FSU, but I am not. Holy crap. FAMU was ranked 975 for softball. Basketball is 974. We talked about this last week, but me and JP said the FAMU football team's APR score was kind of screwed up there, but Florida State, they finally got their highest marking with a 958, but that was still pretty bad. So FSU's got some work they got to do, but there's that. So
FSU needs a whole culture change for crying out loud. I mean, look, the athletics program has been slipping a little bit. So, I mean, you can't have a great party school if your athletics program is slipping now, and now your academics is slipping
want to come.
That's not a good look, FSU. You gotta fix your shit. That's all I gotta say.
But that is gonna do it for us. Yeah, that's what I said. That's just gonna do it for us for the Last Give podcast, second to last episode, probably this season. Summer, we'll be doing previews coming out starting tomorrow, so keep an eye out for those. I think, what are we doing first? NFC West will come out tomorrow. I have no idea what the order of the previews are going to be.
I think NFC South will be done first.
I will be. I know I will be. Me and JP will probably be doing ours in place of Last Give after the season finishes, so we'll have something to come out with in the week. But
I'll be recording that being tomorrow. Said, I got NFC West and AFC North. What you got, Ace?
I have AFC West, the fun division, and the NFC East because I'm going to be memeing it so bad.
Have fun with that.
But yes,
Thank
I'm going
you
to be
all for
memeing it
coming out.
hard.
I'm glad to be back. Hopefully we could end our season on a good note next week. Go Bolts!
Yes.
Like, share, subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend.
Yep, and that is going to do it from us. From all you guys, stay safe, stay blessed. You know what's up. Hit it. Out.